Okay, are you recording?
Yes.
Five, four, three. All right, we're here today again with Deborah Neal. She is a specialist in couples that have challenges in their couplehood, and especially as they have challenges as it relates to possible infidelity issues. And she was talking to me a little bit before we started the other day about a paradox in priorities, how priorities may not be exactly how they should be in our life to accomplish the goals we want. So, Deborah, I just give it that very brief introduction. Why don't you tell us what you really mean when you're talking about a paradox in priorities?
Well, the paradox is that with the lion's share of the couples that I've seen, that they may be reluctant to spend the time, the money, or the energy to invest in counseling. And there is a gap between what we say is important and what could possibly be there. For example, and here I'm going to give you maybe 3 points to think about. Years ago, I had the worst toothache ever. I mean, it was a 10 on a 10-point scale. I went to the emergency room that night. They gave me one pain pill. I scheduled an appointment with my dentist the next day. He immediately scheduled me with an endodontist. And even though it was the root canal, the most painful experience I've ever had, it's what I needed to get rid of that pain, to stop the bleeding, and to move forward. I went to a professional. And most people, if they have a really, really bad toothache, they're going to go to a professional. If your cell phone breaks and you can't make a call, receive a call, or forbid, send a text, it's only going to be a matter of hours or maybe a day before you go get the phone repaired. You go to a professional, someone who does that on a regular basis. Yet, when it comes to the couples that I have seen, they've struggled on their own for years with the same chronic pattern of a breach of trust, that next unexpected credit card debt that's incurred behind their back, that next use of pornography and going back, and the discovery of this internet, and the 3 months of going back to internet sites that are pornography based, or yet another breach. I said I would never cheat again. I promised, and I couldn't execute, and yet it goes again and again and again, and people are struggling on their own. So the question is, if this is happening to you and you're still struggling on your own to fix something that's so seemingly all important and all meaningful, is there then my point of there is a gap between where we spend our time, where we spend our energy, where we spend our money? Are we more invested in the relationship with the cell phone? Are we more invested in a relationship with pornography or some other outside loyalties? And can we now rethink that and create, rather than a continued pathway backwards, I help people create a real, healthy, sustaining pathway forward. It makes a difference to have this real connection, a real connection, so that when you're 50, 60, 70, 80, you look back, what's going to be the most meaningful priority in your life? So I, Dr. Katz, encourage people to take time now, write down what your priorities are. And when it comes to this ongoing struggle, things that weigh your day to day down in this relationship, it stays in your head. Why not invest in something, an outside intervention, an outside resource that you can trust in, that will help you move past the problem and move on to some bigger, more satisfying day-to-day and depth to that relationship.
You know, yeah, they may wonder why I'm talking to you, and I'll just say that I am a consultant. I specialize only in consulting with therapists to help them with their progress in practice. And I have had over the years uh, 300 therapists who have worked with me for a year or longer to put programs together to help them improve the quality of the care of their patients. And I will tell you one thing that you fit exactly. If you match the right therapist to the right problem, your chance of success is much larger. So if I'm talking to the people that may be watching, if you're a couple and you're having relationship issues, then go to somebody who's a specialist in relationship issues. Don't go to someone else. And that would be Deborah Neal. And if you're a couple and there has been infidelity, or you expect there may be some infidelity, then certainly don't go to anyone else. You have to go to the person who has all the experience with it, and that would be Deborah Neal, of course. And so make sure that when you choose, you put your priorities in the right place. Don't just pick anybody. This is one of the most important things in your life. Pick somebody who you feel would do the best for you.
Dr. Katz, I want to say that recently I worked with an individual and a couple long distance with this pattern that had been going on, pattern of pornography, Rich. And when I listened to the spouse and what she has gone through literally for years, the loneliness, the isolation, the shame of feeling like there's something wrong with her, it was really a joy to have them both in their last session leave, writing down all the things that they had gained in working together. But for the most part, we worked remotely. And I just want to say, for those people who don't live locally in the Overland Park area, if you really want someone to talk with, I can help, and I would be happy to set up some tele-counseling.
Now, maybe when we get this video in its final form, we'll have a telephone number in front of us. But give us the name of your company again, and give us the telephone number.
My company is Pathways to Empowerment. I can be reached at 816-805-0732.
Okay, and where are you located?
In Overland Park, Kansas.
And that's a suburb of?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And you're accepting new patients now?
Accepting new patients.
And you can get them in?
Individuals who are dealing with infidelity.
Yeah,
individuals or couples.
Yeah, and they can get in fairly soon to see you.
Yes.
Right. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. We've been talking with Deborah Neal. I have a lot of experience with a lot of therapists. Like I said, I've worked with over 300 of them on a year-long basis in the last 10 years. And I will tell you that it certainly helps to work with a professional like Deborah. Thanks for listening.